Gather around, sit down, and guys, welcome back to the channel. Last episode, we had done the director's office. I learnt that for some reason, his name isn't Tenmyouji. It's not Teru, that's Danganronpa. Tenmyouji has some connection to Arcane from the first game. But anyway, Sigma says we should be getting back to the main warehouse by now. We're gonna have another decision whether to betray Tenmyouji or Quark, and we're definitely not going to betray them. I'm going to ally with them, and hopefully we can ally, and everyone gets out. I think I'm finally going to get some kind of good ending. I hope. I'm finally at a stage where allying is a good thing, and that's exciting. So I hope you guys are excited. If you are, leave those likes down below. Leave that support so that we can get this series popping like it should be. But anyway, we're at Warehouse A. Let's see what happens. I'm still so shocked by the plot twist of, like, this extra line. I stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Kay and Luna, Fi and Clover, and Dio. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the rightmost AB room and slid his card through the reader. God, he's such an asshole. He's so infuriating. I can't stand him at all.
An ambidex gate
has been opened. Yeah, we get it. As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy?
You waited for me.
This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it.
Thank you, Dio.
I can be considerate.
I do appreciate it, but Tenmyouji and Quark aren't here.
Where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real quick.
They'll be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
Okay. We haven't found any bombs this run, have we? While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. I still need to learn more. I need more understanding. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door and Tenmyouji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
That's
Yes,
concerning.
I'm getting worried.
That's very
What
concerning.
if something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Thank you, Kay. Okay, I'll be fine by myself. It's not that far
Don't look
away.
into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
Shit. I don't think... Okay. Look, I'm going to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal. Right, see you guys later. I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. What? Wait. I'm not gonna get another lock, I swear to God, if I get another lock, I'll be so angry. Oh, I swear to God, I'll be so angry. Don't be dead. Don't be dead. Don't be dead. Don't be dead. Please. I'm closing my eyes and listening to the music. Oh, it's creepy music. No! No! Is that blood? Huh? That's odd. Oh no, it's the balloon. Nobody's here. The picture's gone though. Tenmyouji and Quark must have been here then. I laid out the floor B map. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this is a huge waste of time. Shoot, might as well head back, I suppose. Why did he take the long way? I packed up the map and was headed towards the door when... There was a light on where there hadn't been a light before. What? Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. That's the, like, weird robot thing. The robot vacuum? I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously towards it. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out towards it slowly. Oh,
So, you
Who's
finally
this?
made it.
who are you? No,
I
you're...
am Zero.
Wait, what?
I was the one who brought you here.
I'm taking my shoe off, just by the way.
And you
Why?
undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you
Yes.
can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask
Okay.
if you wish, but I cannot respond.
Fuck. I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile, and I kept my bald fist at my side.
Where to begin?
Great
There are
question.
many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As
To
such,
what?
the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you.
Please. Oh my god, give me info.
I will tell you about termites.
Termites. The bugs.
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I
Yeah.
imagine you look rather bewildered right now.
I'm a little bit confused, you're right.
Understandable. The
Thank
person
you.
who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I
Yeah.
suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate.
Okay.
So I ask that you listen carefully.
I shall.
Have you ever seen a termite mound?
No, not in
They're
person.
splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space.
Okay.
So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is
Okay.
doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We
So
can
you're saying-
understand the splendid planning of their structure.
I don't
In
understand.
other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds.
Right, so they build something and only we understand it. So what, is there stuff that we build that
Consider
only...
humans.
Yeah.
Why are we alive? Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed
I'm
by
so
millions of
confused
years
right
of
now.
human DNA.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that,
This
but
analogy is supposed to illustrate
you're saying that aliens look at us and think we create beautiful structures?
I mean to say humans are not different from termites.
Right, sure, but what are you getting
Trudge
at?
through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building.
Yeah.
Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous
No idea.
beauty.
What are you getting at?
About to catch a glimpse of it.
How? Why?
Or have you already? Well,
I don't...
that's enough on that subject, I think.
So we're building something and we are gonna glimpse the...
Consider what I've said.
I don't understand. What's the second thing?
Now, let's move on to the second topic.
Yes, please.
Somewhat more immediately
Who is this
meaningful to your
person?
life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people.
Radical
Realize
6?
This is rather sudden, but I have a password for you.
Wait a minute.
It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Holy shit. The
Are you
bomb?
ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb
We're not
is
gonna hear it.
QZ.
Oh. BQZRGJDXR. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs too? If he had guessed at my future confusion, he'd shown no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey.
Just bomb 1 though.
Now, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here.
Why?
If you do, you will be penalized.
What?
Immediately. I hope
Why
we
me?
will meet again someday.
So what's
We
so...
will have much to discuss.
Wait! God damn it, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear. I found myself yelling at empty air. This game just keeps giving me more and more questions. I want answers! I've been playing for this for so long! The hologram had disappeared. What kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could they have anything to do with kidnapping us? Shit. I kicked out at a nearby shelf.
10 minutes.
Oh, I've got to get back. I hope they're back. Oh, crap. I need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. I spun around and ran out of the room towards the warehouse. Did they get back? I don't think they got back.
Grandpa!
Oh, they did get
Mr.
back.
Sigma's back!
Took
I'm
you
back.
long enough.
Okay. Where are the others? They went in already? Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
Oh.
that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round.
Oh, thank you. And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, your words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So
Okay.
we need to get to the magic number. Well,
2. Well, you need
you
1.
to choose ally.
Right.
If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3
Exactly. That being
points.
the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally,
We
both
both
gain
gain
points.
points. I respect that, but... True, but you must have considered that I'll choose Betray. That would mean you'd choose Betray to protect
That's why
yourselves.
we're telling you we won't choose betray.
mm-hmm.
Can I trust you? Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this and both ally, everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Cork will have enough to leave, which is great for you. But I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to open the number 9 door and leave us in
I
the
can
lurch?
guarantee it.
Why?
I can give
How?
you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so.
Okay.
I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear too.
Cork's a good boy, so I trust Cork. Man, so all you've got is a promise, huh?
Promise. I keep it. Trust
I
me.
Please!
gotta work with that. That's all I've got. It's all I've got.
You've gotta trust us.
I do. It's all I can do. Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes.
We've gotta play.
Counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally. You promised.
Oh, I mean, I will. I always have. With that, they turned and ran into the AB room second from the right. Do I have a... Oh god, it's really painful. Well, I guess I should get moving. Okay, let's go into the ambidex room. Let's try our luck at this thing, this game, this awful reality we're in, to be honest. Let's start. So, I'm by myself this time. Nobody to argue with,
1 minute.
apart from myself. I had a decision to make. Should I trust Cork and Tenmyouji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6. I'd be there much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but...
Please! You've gotta trust us.
I-
You promised.
I like Quark too much. Quark is so cool. Tenmyouji, I could betray easily enough, but Quark? What the hell was I gonna do? I'm not gonna betray Quark! I'm not! I'm just this kind of... I'm just this kind of person that I just don't betray. 2, 1, and I have to choose ally. I don't see any other option. I get choosing betray might mean they don't leave, but I trust them that they won't leave.
Results. Thank you. Ambidextrous.
You're welcome, Mr. Well, Mrs. Announcer, I guess, not Mr., but whatever. I have to trust them. I have to. Results.
Please.
I'm interested to see what everyone else does. I mean, realistically, everyone should just ally. Because... Betray, of course. Betray ally. Betray. Wait, what? Luna and Clover betrayed oh, right, because... Wait, wait! Dio was willing to kill Fi. Fi knew that, betrayed. Luna and Clover betrayed because Kay would have gotten away. So they betrayed. So now Clover, Tenmyouji, and Quark can all leave. And Tenmyouji and Quark betrayed?
Points have please.
I trusted them. Why do I always trust people? Hey! What the hell, you guys? Why'd you betray me?
Nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise,
I
Tenmyouji?
only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
Yeah, but you... What? So you're not gonna leave?
Said, of course we're going to leave.
What?
See Clover over there?
What? Don't tell me.
Oh no.
I'm so salty right now.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyouji have...
They're gonna leave too. The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyouji and Quark ran past.
God damn it!
Oh my god. Why? Clover?
Are you really going to leave?
Oh, because Alice is dead.
Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
Why?
I'm going to go call the others so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyouji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy?
No!
Promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell I'm happy. That's some shady shit,
Say
Tenmyouji.
so. I have to get out of here, and that's that.
Oh my
He's gotta
god.
pay for what he's done.
He?
Zero.
Who's he?
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose.
Wait.
I know
Oh?
exactly who Zero Senior is.
Who?
What?
Who is it? What? Tenmyouji? What? What's happening?
The number 9 door. It will.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait.
What?
This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Oh, what are you giving me? Quark held out something. A piece of paper. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted
Why?
to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
Okay. He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Bye, Quark. You're a good kid. Then he turned and ran towards the door, Tenmyouji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them before I could think of anything to
See ya.
say.
Goodbye.
I'm shocked. I'm in... Why did he betray? There's no reason for him to have betrayed. Unless he knew I was
The
gonna...
number 9 door has closed.
Makes no sense to me.
This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation.
Why don't people just like
As the
we can
gates
do?
say, please.
Why don't they just keep playing the Ambidex game to get us all to 9?
Shit, they're gone.
All
They
we
are.
can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
Well, I've got to read this letter. I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he had filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he had never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. So I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now I'm here. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, cause it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. But I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd helped starting Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, and how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They showed old movies, old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they'd show movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids told me on my block. I guess after Grandpa found out, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. Right. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There were a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he bragged to everyone about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and sat me on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point. And then I turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though. So I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real. And I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I never tasted anything like root beer before. What is this weird dystopia? I just have to say, guys, this weird dystopia where there are abandoned buildings, it's collecting scrap, kids that don't have their mothers, and root beer is expensive and rare to get? What is this? The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration, I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he had just found me and adopted me or not. He had bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I, we're doing pretty good. Until the fight. What? I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk guy I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard though, so I decided to wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy grey sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, but he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first, I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly, and he said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me for so long that he had collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask him for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if he kept it up, he'd die. If he had died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anyone left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. I'm not tearing up. Fortunately, I must have passed Oh. Cork, you're too cute. Cork. Such a good kid. Oh, God. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't gonna die, but I was also a little scared. What if he hadn't decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started talking, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All of the things I worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. He just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he had ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he had gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. Tenmyouji's a good guy. He's protective of Quark, and he might be a little bit gruff. Oh, that's so sad. Did I get a Tenmyouji ending or a Quark ending? Oh, well, I guess we learned who the true Tenmyouji is. I got the Tenmyouji end. What an ending. Our second ending. The Tenmyouji end. Now, I've got 2 betrayals I can do. Oh, shit. So, I'm going to quickly do the betrayals. And that'll be this episode, I think. So, we're going to start by betraying Tenmyouji. And just seeing what happens. If it's a long ending again, then it's a long ending again, I think. So we're going to betray. We're going to see what happens when we betray Tenmyouji. I'm assuming just Clover escapes and everything is bad. But, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he allies.
Results from
Okay,
round
here we go.
3.
Results. The results are what's different. Everyone's looking, apart from Alice, because she's dead. Betray, betray. Betray, ally. Betray, betray. Okay. Only K allied. Imagine if everyone betrayed.
Points, please.
So now they can't leave. So. Hey, what's the
Quark
deal?
had nothing to do with it. I entered the vote.
So why'd you choose betray?
Couldn't I ask you the same thing? I don't really think this is the time for a fight, though. Look,
Because
Clover's-
Clover is over by the door leaving. Oh no. That was... Oh, I'm still over that. I can't get over that emotional ending. Okay, so let's see what happens. Clover just leaves? Of course she'd leave. Her friend Alice is dead.
The number 9 door.
Yes,
She opened it.
she sure did.
Why?
Let's see what happens. We're all gonna try and stop Clover. Clover! What the hell do you think you're doing? What?
Justice for Al.
Justice? Wait, do you mean she's gonna go and call the rest of the organization they're a part of? Because now we've learned more about Clover, we know about Alice. So she claims she's gonna come back and save us. Yeah, we know.
Time for me to go. No!
Don't...
Please, Clover,
Wait, Clover.
Like hell, I'm just gonna let you walk
We
out of
can
here.
all just keep playing. Deoleptic Clover's first race. Clover easily avoided him and moved towards the door.
Goodbye.
We could all leave if we just kept playing. I caught one last glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. It was a mask of ice. How do people not realize this? Oh my god. It's so goddamn frustrating. But I can't change it.
The number this
Okay.
as the game escape, please.
Is that just the end, or is that just game over? The music's stopping. It's just game over, so Clover just escapes. It's pretty sucky, but also it makes sense. And guys, we're going to do the other betray, where we do betray after Clover's flirting with us. We do betray. But we're going to do that ending next episode. So if you guys want to see what happens there, make sure you check out next episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this game. We've got 2 endings finally. And once we do that other betray path, we can finally, I think, start the new flow. Let me just quickly check. Yeah. Then we go down the new flow. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode of whatever I make. Stay safe, Bully Squad. See ya!